4:30. Let's get this thing going. Call the meeting to order. 4:30. And let's do the pledge. And let's go on a roll call. Bob, you want to start us?
Bacon present.
Sajid Chaudhry present.
Keekwan present.
Coin present.
Fox present.
And moving on to agenda item number 4, approval of tonight's agenda. How's that looking?
I move to approve it.
I second it.
Got a motion by Coin, support by Bars. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And the motion's carried, agenda is approved. On agenda item number 5, approval of minutes from May 20th, 2025, regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of May 20th, 2022 regular meeting.
Second it.
Got a motion by Bars, support by Chartery to approve the meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And the minutes are approved. And moving on to agenda item number 6, presentations. Got item A, East DDA Fund, West DDA Fund, fiscal year 2024 audit presentation.
So I am not Ally Barnes.
I was gonna say, you look different this year, Ally.
It's changed.
Ally sent an email and let us know she had, unfortunately, had a conflict that prevents her from being here today. With your agreement, we will have her presentation at the next meeting. But in the meantime, we wanted to go ahead and we had, this was already packed, it was already the packet, it was already sent. And so I wanted to invite you, if you had any questions that you would like her to be able to answer from the materials you have in front of you, or any other questions about the audit process, we're happy to share those questions with her so she can be prepared to answer them at your July meeting.
Well, no findings, I see. I've learned to read audits. You start in the back and then move forward.
That's right. That's certainly very good news.
Yep.
This was a particularly challenging year as well, because I'm sure you want to explain about the single audit, the additional steps.
It's not really related to the East or West DDA, but we had quite a few large federal grants this year. So we had extra work related to that because they do a special single, what they call a single audit for the federal grants. So we had to provide a lot more information, and I ended up getting sick during the audit, the actual week of the audit, when the auditors needed me, and so things were a little delayed, but we're getting back on track with that. So the audit was completed on time, and just a little later than we normally do it every year.
As I said, if there are any questions you have that we can share with Ally, if there's anything you would like particularly to know more about or hear about, we're happy to share that with her, because she can focus on that when she comes to our July meeting.
When I say when you see it's on an unmodified opinion, everything meets GAAP accounting, to me that also means that we have good control here internally, and I have to commend the staff here for following audit procedures. So.
What do you think? Give it a few let the other board get it. If they have any questions, get with you, because I'm seeing either way, you want her to come back? Ally?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We appreciate the opportunity for her to come and make a presentation. Like I said, you may have some questions that come up, but it's good to have that outside perspective. So it's
Yep.
worth having her come. Well, thank you.
Okay. Moving on, item 7, public comment. Have anybody online? Comments for the good of the order?
Well, just a quick one. My name's Bill Quakenbush, Bill's Custom Fab. I know some of you I don't. Craig, one of my associates here, we just came over to be here to discuss if the board has any questions on this proposal that we'd submitted for the trash and bench project out there. So
Yep.
we pretty much just came over just as just in case you had some questions for us or something.
Okay.
So we just wanted to make ourselves available. So
All
thank
right.
you. Carry
Yep,
on.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go on to number 8, reports, accounts payable. East DDA.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start out with the East DDA accounts payable. We had a payment to Consumers Energy for the streetlights on Pickard. That's for $629.43. We had a payment to Be Green Lawn Services for the fertilizer and weed control along Pickard for $2,860. We have a payment to Black Electric for $1,560. They hung the Special Olympics banners and the Art Reach banners along Pickard. We have a payment to Gunner Lawn Care for spring cleanup and lawn maintenance along Pickard there they worked in April and May. That was for $3,775. And we had a payment to MMI to clean up along Pickard. They empty the trash receptacles and clean, do general ground maintenance around the benches for $536. And then we had a payment to Michigan Economic Developers Association. This was for $175, and that was for half of the annual membership dues. So in the East DDA, there was a total accounts payable payment issued this month for $9,535.43. I can answer any questions if you have anything on those.
So what is the Michigan Economic Developers Association? That's not MEDC?
No, this is the State Association for Economic Development Professionals. It's actually the annual membership for me as the director. That's about half through each DDA.
Okay.
It's actually $350 per year, but we split it between East and West.
Any questions? Can I get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills as presented.
Support.
Got a motion by Bacon, support by Coin, to pay the East DDA payables as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And motion is approved. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the West DDA, we just had the one payment to the Michigan Economic Developers Association for those, for half of those annual membership dues, $175. That was the total accounts payable for the West DDA.
I will make a motion that we pay the West as presented.
I second it.
Got a motion by Bacon, second by Chowdhury to approve the West DDA payables as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. The motion is approved.
Okay, moving on to your East DDA financials for the end of May. As of the end of May, all of the accounts payable that you just approved are posted here. And in the East DDA, on your revenue and expenditure report, your revenues are sitting at about 89% of budget, which is really good. And your expenditures are about 2% of budget. So there's some projects in there that just haven't started yet and are sitting, waiting to either begin or have some invoices come through. And then on the on your balance sheet for the East DDA, you have about 3.1 million in total assets and then about 3.1 million in fund balance. Any questions on the East DDA financials? Okay, if not, I'll move forward to the West DDA financials. Looking at your revenue and expenditure report, the revenues are at about 93% of budget, at about 476,000 for the year, and then so far your expenditures are about 2% of budget. And then moving on to the balance sheet for the West DDA, there's about 2.1 million in assets and 2.1 million in fund balance. Any questions on any of the financials for the East or West DDA?
So financial, this is a 2% use so far?
The expenditures, yes.
2%?
2% of budget.
But this budget is till September?
It's calendar year through the end of the year.
Calendar year,
Calendar year. Okay.
yep. Yep, our fiscal year starts January 1st and ends
Okay.
December 31st. Yep. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, thank you very much.
Thank you. So let's let the record show the financials were received, presented, and filed. Looking at agenda item 8C for your review, got the board member matrix, membership matrix. Moving on to agenda item number 9, new business. So we have a request for board action. So go ahead.
Well, thank you. So you have in front of you a memo dated June the 12th. This is a request for board action related to a refurbishment project for our East EDA park benches and trash receptacles. We talked about this previously. They have experienced a pretty significant deterioration the last couple of years. We have several benches that are broken. The slats are broken on them, and we have a lot of deterioration throughout. A number of years ago, back to 2018, 2019, there was a refurbishment project. Primarily there, they didn't replace the slats, they simply reversed them. So essentially put the good side out, you might say. Well, in the year since, we now have the good side is no longer the good side anymore. And the slats have reached a point where they're not safe. We have ones that are broken where people have simply sat on them. And it's reached a condition where it's important to go ahead and refurbish them. In addition to that, some of the metal components the bolt-down points on the benches need some touch-up to keep those in good order. And of course, repainting to keep the metal parts from rusting. So with that in mind, we did put the request for bids out. You have that in your packet. It was heavily advertised, posted around, sent to various entities. The first go-round, we did not get any responses. We put it out again, and again advertised it heavily, and we did get one response. You have that one bid from Bill's Custom Fab, and that's for a total of, to rehab a total of 29 benches and 23 trash receptacles along Pickard Road. That would be done as they proposed it in their proposal over 4 phases. So they would take out a portion of the benches and trash receptacles in a geographic area, refurbish those, bring them back, take the next set, and do that in a phased approach. So there's always some benches out there on either the north or the south side of the room. Total cost of $72,000, $72,741.05. This we have a line item in our budget for bench and receptacle maintenance. It has essentially been a placeholder item. It has $5,000 in it. We've had $5,000 in it every year. We have not used those funds, so this is a one-time project. Looking at hopefully getting at least another 7 years or 8 years out of that, hopefully even longer perhaps. But looking at replacing all the slats and refinishing the metal surfaces so that they're good weather tight going forward from here. As I said, we did only receive one bid. That's not our preference, but in this case we do have a local company here tonight, of course, that is interested in doing this work. This is a very labor-intensive project, and so I'm not surprised at the numbers that are involved here. And if you look at their proposal, if you look at our request for bids, you can see the level of labor involved to get this done. One thing we very much appreciated with Bill's Custom Fab is that in their proposal, they caught some things that we didn't. Things like when the benches are bolted down, when the benches are removed, we would have bolts sticking up out of the concrete. And they were very thoughtful in their response and included providing for the safety of that element by having a temporary block in there to ensure that nobody would hurt themselves on those bolts. So that's the level of detail this company is bringing to the table for this. So with that, as I said, we're asking, as request notes, we're asking for your approval of the bidder and of this bid, and to allow us to move forward with this project. The company's indicated that they're able to do work, start work within a few weeks of approval being granted. Certainly, we're looking at getting this work done over the remainder of the 2025 year. So, with that, I'm happy to answer questions you may have.
That wood, what's that wood made out of? Is it just wood, or could you use that plastic wood?
That's what it,
Oh,
I
that-
believe that's what it is, and that's what it would be replaced with.
Oh,
is a composite.
that should last,
Recycled plastics.
yeah,
Yep.
like the furniture you get with this.
Yes.
So that won't really splinter. Should last a long time. I see.
Now, that supplier just communicated with Craig today that the time of quote was just a few weeks out, this composite was in stock. As of today, they told us 6 to 8 weeks, 8 weeks?
8 weeks.
To get that product. So, but it is that time of the year. I hate to say it, I
Yeah.
just composite that came down on one of my daughters' deck. So it's that time of the year that it's being used. So, there's that 2-week window we talked about previously.
Yeah, a
That's
little longer.
changed just a little bit due to
Yeah.
that.
And the finish on this, is this gonna be painted, prime painted, or powder coat, or what are they?
Sandblasted, it would be, so, just to, yes, yes. Craig actually prepared most of this. I sat in and went over it with him, so there might be a couple things he might need So the way we've looked at this project is, just as said, you've got units on the north side and the south side of the road. We looked at trying to take every other one of them out. My guys would travel to the business parking lot so we can stay off of Pickard as much as possible. Take the units off, let's say, right at Crapel, because I believe our direction was to start at Crapel and go east, or, you know, that's the area that we're working in. So we would start at, say, Crapel, and we would take every one of them off for as many of them as we feel we can do in a 2-week period. The goal was to do this in, I believe, 4 2-week intervals. So as we pick these units up, put them on a trailer, they're taken back to our shop. When we leave the site, we would have cones that we're going to kind of fabricate, modify, might you say, that would bolt right back down to the exposed anchors that would be sticking up out of the concrete. I'm sure, Tom, you're very familiar with the concrete expansion anchors, what it appears to be. And so we would put a cone or something over that that could be bolted down to it. Granted, some mischievous kid could probably remove that, but it won't be just something that you could kick off. You'd literally need a wrench or something to take that off. So we'd leave it there, those in place, so that people walking up and down the road can see them there, not trip over them. They would go back to our shop. They would be dismantled. The fiberglass composite would be removed. The units would then be inspected as far as the metal components, the benches, the trash receptacles. They would be taken to a sandblast facility, sandblasted, come back to our facility, where we would then put a high-performance paint product on it. That's an epoxy primer with a urethane finish, same finish as what we would put on any of our other fabricated projects. It's a top end. I believe we went with the Emron, I think is what we use. Emron or the Emron paint. So it's a good paint that lasts. Dave, you've got a paint booth. You're very familiar with paint. It's a paint product that we feel gives a good UV resilience. Looks good. The shine stays for a long time. It's a very similar paint to what would be on your automotive, your car itself. When those pieces come back to our facility after sandblast, we would apply those coatings. We would then install new composite product on the trash receptacles as well as the bench. And those of you that aren't familiar with them, the trash receptacles have those same pieces on them. They run vertically, kind of conical shape like this around the perimeter of it. Those are going to be replaced as well as the one on the benches. After we've made those modifications, put the new back on, then they would go back out to the site. They would be reinstalled using the existing anchors that are in place. We chose to do that to try to keep the cost down. We did notice from the last time the process was done that in some of the pictures, and Craig noticed, well, he took the pictures, he picked up on the fact that there were some anchors that had just been a 4.5-inch grinder or something, had just cut them off level to the top of the existing concrete. We felt like as long as those anchors are in a better place and not damaged, in need of repair, it would be better off to just use those same anchors and not make more penetrations into that concrete. All those penetrations sooner or later start to show some wear and tear on the concrete, and I feel like myself from our experience in the construction industry, the fewer holes we put in the existing concrete, the better it is. So at that point, they would be reinstalled, and then we would move right to the next area and take the ones off and start the process all over. So basically 4 times. Should be a fairly simple task. It's just as is said, it's very labor intense. By the time you go there, 2 men, these benches are going to be rather heavy, 2 men, no equipment, picking them up, putting them on trailers, trying to not tear up everybody's yard and all this stuff with equipment, this sort of thing. And then a lot of logistics moving them back and forth and in and out of sandblast, painting, so on and so forth. Craig went through, in preparing the quote, one of the first things we did. We're part of this community, so we like to see everybody's money be spent as wisely as possible. Craig went through and kind of tried to find some comparative ones to see cost of new. I don't recall quite what your findings were, but this was a more economical method than going with brand-new trash receptacles and benches. I'll be honest, everything right now seems kind of expensive in our world, paints, composite, everything you do. When we prepared the quote, I looked at it and thought, man, why did that cost so much? And we go back through it, and I just hate to say it, it's the sign of the times right now, and especially in our steel industry. We don't have a lot of steel going into these, it's just pretty much refurbishing what's there. Hopefully not too much in need of repair as far as welding, fabrication of that sort of thing, but whatever is there, we're capable of making those adjustments, and it's obviously part of our scope, so. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, suggestions?
I think it looks real comprehensive. I know I've done a lot of work with Bill's Custom Fab. They always do a fantastic job, and they always seem to know what they're doing. One thing I wanted to add, some of the light pole bases, I know this isn't your
Yep.
gig here, but while we're at this, it seems like some of the light pole bases still have like concrete spattered on them, or it seems like one was even broke. Is that something else we can look into as long as we're doing this?
It's something, we did explore doing a painting and refurbishment project on the light poles before the road construction project, and that sort of ended that for the time. It's certainly something we can look at again and see.
It seems like when MDOT, they put them back together, it seems like one was broke, and other ones appear to be spattered with concrete or something that just didn't get wiped clean. I don't know, but
There are some on a couple of them. The broken one was broken beforehand. We did an inventory before they started construction and noted that item. It's
One of the, not to interrupt, but, one of the challenges with those light pole bases, you guys see them out in your facility out there, the salt and everything we all put down to make it safe for the winter, those light pole bases, the concrete as well as the finish on them, they really take some abuse for
Oh, yeah.
something that just sits there. They just
Mhm.
have a continuous abuse throughout the seasons, and, it's kind of a harsh environment, so. If there's anything we can help you with that, just holler. If you need somebody to go take a look at them and give you some sort of analysis or something on some of those repairs, just don't hesitate to ask. We're actually more happy to look into that for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
thanks.
Need a motion.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Bill's Custom Fab to rehabilitate 29 benches and 23 waste receptacles along East Pickard Road, M20 corridor, with the boundaries of the East Downtown Development Authority District in the amount of $72,741.05 to amend fiscal year 2025 East DDA fund budget to authorize an additional appropriation of $73,000 for this project, and to authorize the township manager to sign the proposal number 25-090 service agreement with Bill's Custom Fab Incorporated for this work.
Support.
Got a motion by Barr, support by Coin, to approve the request for board action. Any more comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Hearing no opposition, motion is approved. Thank you. And moving on to agenda item number 10, director comments.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot. You've seen the banners out. You saw the charges for putting up the outreach banners. And putting up the seasonal banners. We'll have a switch on the seasonal banners shortly. The flowers are out. Everything currently is being hand watered by our contractor for that. The irrigation system is currently been kept off. The portion that we have basically from interchange to the east, We have kept that off because we're having our water project, we're starting shortly, relatively shortly, where we have a water main looping that will go along Summerton Road primarily. It's primarily go from Pickard to Broadway along Summerton to loop that water main. But it will also involve 2 crossings of Pickard Road to complete those loops. And so at the crossing points, basically that block between the interchange and Summerton Road, they will be working in and around our irrigation system. So we've simply kept it off until that project's over and done with. So our invoices are down on the irrigation side, but they're certainly up on the watering side. The other thing I'll report is that the street light that was damaged in an accident earlier has been reinstalled. That was just done. They came in and took care of the foundation problem. The force of the hit was strong enough that it actually damaged the foundation of that street light. So they take care of the foundation and install the replacement fixture, but that has just been completed. And with that, I'm happy to answer your questions we have.
What's the schedule on that water main?
They were talking, the last time I checked on it, we were talking starting sometime June, but it might be creeping into July, but it's going to be soon. Mystic requests have been out. They've been working on other parts of the system, but the intention is this summer.
Yes, we got the Mystic, everybody's marking underground. I see other iron out there, and then it went cold. It's like, so hopefully it'll restart up again.
Now, the overall water project, there's several divisions of that project, and it is very active right now. There's a lot of work going on at the water plant, but this is the next item on their list.
Okay. And agenda item 11, final board comments. Anything? Seeing everybody's good. And looks like next regular meetings, Tuesday, July 15th, 4:30, with the informational meeting Tuesday, July 22nd. Now explain that again?
Thank you. So Act 57, the state act that governs our DDA districts, requires us to hold what the act calls 2 special informational meetings. And these are, they're not regular, there's no regular business allowed as part of them. They are really for an audience of our taxing jurisdictions, the entities from which we capture a portion of tax revenues that we put back into projects in the district. So it's simply an opportunity for those taxing jurisdictions to hear what we've been working on. They can certainly read our annual report, which is up on our website. But it's also an opportunity for them, if they wish, to ask any questions of you, of staff, related to the projects we're doing within the district boundaries. So the state act requires 2 meetings. We hold one in July, separate from our regular meeting, and then we hold a second one in August. That one we hold before our regular meeting. So we sort of, you might say we're taking, enjoy it. Get here. What's the cake thing? I've goofed up. What's the phrase by getting cake and eating it too?
Yeah.
Is that what it is anyway? No, I'm losing it.
Having your cake and
Having
eating it too.
having your cake and eating it too. I started with the wrong word. But anyway, we do the first one separately to make sure by the state act. That's the one that most jurisdictions, if they're coming, they usually come to that one. And then, but we do hold the second one in August for anybody that might be interested, because the state act requires us to hold it twice.
And we need a quorum, and we'll call it to order, correct?
That's right. We definitely will need a quorum. Please plan to attend. We'll need 5 members here. And it's called to order. We have a short presentation. We essentially kind of go over the annual report, a few details, and offer an opportunity for anybody in attendance to ask questions. Beforehand, in fact, very shortly, we'll be sending out those notices to the taxing jurisdictions.
Okay. I guess, hearing no more comments, we can call the meeting adjourned, 5:05. Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.